Here we are, 8:09, 57 degrees at Wall Radio. Good morning to you and happy Monday, or grudging, grumpy Monday, if that's the one that's applicable. But I have a guest with me in the studio who's not grumpy at all. He's quite pleasant and I hope happy to be here. Welcome to James Raftery of Sullivan County Vet2Vet.
Good morning, Kate.
So glad that you could come visit us this
Thanks.
morning.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, well, you know that Wall Radio likes to have anything that we can do to help our veterans. And you know, we have a veterans resources page on our website that has all kinds of information. And Vet2Vet of Sullivan County, I'll have to check to see, do we have you on our veterans support guide?
I'm not sure. I haven't checked.
If not, you will be on there, definitely. So Sullivan County.
Correct.
Vet2Vet. Tell me what this means. Tell me what your specialty is.
We are a group of veterans whose main purpose is helping veterans who may be in crisis. If they need a place to stay, we can set them up with temporary housing. We can set them up with food. We can set them up possibly with job placement. If they are in serious crisis, with possibly considering suicide or having a losing battle with the demons of alcohol and substance abuse, we can direct them into programs or get them in touch with people who can get them into programs. The big one for me is what we call QPR, question, persuade, refer. We are working with what they call a warm line, where
not a hotline,
a warm line.
Okay.
Where if someone calls us in crisis and says, "Hey, I'm thinking of taking my life," we can discuss it with them, ask them the pertinent questions, persuade them, "Hey, if you give me a day or two to get you the information you need, can you promise me that you're not going to do anything?" And then refer them to treatment either through the VA or through other means. This one is very close to my heart now that I'm retired. I'm a retired New York City Fire Department fire dispatcher. On average, 22 veterans take their lives every day, and I almost became one of the 22. So it's a cause that's near and dear to my heart. And I actually have a tattoo on my leg of a crying mermaid holding a folded flag with the number 22 etched into her fin in tribute.
That number of, wow. So how much of your story are you comfortable sharing with us? What pulled you back?
My daughter. I have a wonderful, amazing 10-year-old daughter. And when I see her smile or say, "Hi, Dad," or just out of nowhere come up, give me a snuggle and say, "I love you, Dad," and along with her mother as well, that's what kept me going for the longest time. And I'm thankful to no end to have the opportunity to be a father, to be a partner, and to give back after so many years of giving even more between my military service, between my service with the fire department, and now today.
So yes, you've just continued just in a different way.
It's the family business.
Okay.
Well,
yes.
My father was a police officer. His father was a corrections officer. My brother, as we discussed earlier, was a paramedic for the New York City Fire Department. There's me, and then I have cousins on both sides of my family who have been in public service in one way or another. So when I say it's the family business, I'm not kidding. So
Sullivan County Vet2Vet, how long has it been operational?
It's been around for a couple of years. There are chapters all over the state and all over the country. Most recently, I've been networking, for lack of a better term, with my partner in Orange County, Tom Bauer. I have a partner in Ulster County. I have partners in Dutchess County, Westchester County, Putnam County. Basically, the entire Hudson Valley is covered.
And for veterans who don't have what you had, a family, children to hang on to give them a reason to stick around, the Vet2Vet portion means that a veteran, somebody who has been through their own version of being in the military who understands the things that I don't
Correct.
can talk to them and say, I get you, and you are not alone.
You're not alone. And
But you
there's-
felt really alone for a while.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. There's a phrase that we use in the military called, we got your six. We got your 6
I've
o'clock.
heard that.
We're
Yeah.
behind you. We got your back. The other one is leave no one behind. And that's our goal. I've also been working with a group that's nationwide as well called 22 Until None.
Now there's a goal. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And they're another group. We have a chapter based in Highland. There's a chapter based in Elmira in Chemung County. We meet every third Wednesday of the month in Highland. I'm also trying to get in with a more local group called Operation Got Your Six, which is run by a wonderful lady by the name of Stacy over here in Port Jervis. Her son had originally started it, but he became one of the 22.
Oh.
And now it's her job, and I'm hopefully going to get involved with it to also make it my job to see that his work gets completed or that his work continues.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's a huge job. It's an important one for all of these veterans. I don't know if you know the statistics on this. I'm just wondering, is there one branch of the service that
I
is
haven't
more
actually
prone to problems
I
than
haven't
others?
actually checked, but it's a generalization where the average is 22. Some people in the VA believe that it's a little bit less, and then other surveys believe it's a little bit more, somewhere in the neighborhood of 25, 26 a day.
Yeah. Is it like more Army veterans or Navy?
I'm actually, Kate, I'm actually unaware.
Okay.
And if you want, later on, I will have that information for you
Yeah,
for
it's
the next
just-
time I show up.
It's just a curiosity. And does this affect veterans whether or not they saw combat? It seems to.
It does. It's more than, like, I never saw a day of combat. I served during the end of the Persian Gulf era. I was on a ship chasing drug smugglers all over the Caribbean. And then I spent 2 years doing real Coast Guard stuff, working on the lifeboats, working with helicopters, things of that nature. But there were other things that led me to that point where I almost became one of the 22 external factors from not being in the military. I just happened to be a veteran. But there's so many stories that men and women who've served overseas, or as we call it, serving downrange, could tell you about what brought them to that point.
And they need help.
And they desperately need help. And what oftentimes happens is they do exactly what I did. I'm okay. It's all right. I'm okay. It's going to be fine, because they tell you, suck it up and move on. And unfortunately, sucking it up and moving on doesn't help anymore. It doesn't work.
One day you just can't.
It didn't work.
Mhm.
It doesn't work. And in my case, as we spoke off air, I'm a September 11th first responder, and I was told by my management to suck it up, and I did for a very long time before I finally realized this isn't working anymore. And this is not the way I want to go if I want to stay around and watch my daughter grow up to be a beautiful young lady. So I got the help I needed. I'm still getting the help I need.
So your superiors at the time did not recognize that you needed help, but
No.
you were able to pull back,
it took-
and you were able to realize there are others that were feeling just like you did.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
for different reasons.
Absolutely.
But you've made it your mission to help them. That's so commendable.
It's paying it back. And it took me a very long time and a number of major speed bumps in my career and in my life. And before I threw up my hands and said, that's it. It's enough. It's time for me to get the help I need.
Mm-hmm. And now you can give people that help.
And I can pay it back. I'm well on my way.
Vet2, the number 2, Vet of Sullivan County. If you want to look them up, I'm on your Facebook page right now. And we'll talk more. Jimmy Raftery is here on Wall Radio. We'll talk more with him in just a moment. And we're back already. 8:20 at Wall Radio. It's
Quick.
58 degrees. Yes, that was quick, wasn't it? And with me in the studio from Vet2Vet of Sullivan County, Jimmy Raftery. What's your title there?
I am the Veteran Services Director, or Veteran Service Coordinator, excuse me. I'm also a veteran peer advocate. We also have the absolutely amazing Stephen Murphy and his service dog, Eva. He is also a veterans peer advocate, but also he is going to be our service dog trainer. We also have a gentleman affiliated with us named Steve Porter, who does an amazing job of training service dogs for veterans. And watching him train is definitely poetry in motion. And just watching him work.
A service dog can make such a huge difference to a veteran. First, if they don't have immediate family nearby,
They've got company.
The dog means they're still not alone. Boom, right there is a huge difference. What a difference. But the dog does much more than just sit there and pant and beg for take me for walkies.
Absolutely. Aside from the obvious emotional support, you have dogs that'll be able to tell if you're diabetic and your blood sugar's getting low, because they can sense things that you wouldn't be able to sense, and they'll come over, give you a nudge, going like, "Hey, bud, take your medication."
Mm-hmm.
They can protect you from people who may not have the greatest of intentions. But most times it's for emotional support. When you have someone who's been in combat or has and suffers from PTSD or some of the other mental issues that go along with being in combat, or even if you're, in one case that I know from working at Legoland after I retired, I have a friend there who has his own service dog. He has PTSD from serving down at the pile. What I mean by the pile is we didn't call it Ground Zero when September 11th occurred. We called it the pile.
Okay.
And then when they got below street level, we called it the pit. My friend spent a number of months down there, and his service dog, hi Daryl, hi Patriot, our Patriot's been amazing in keeping Daryl on an even keel since then, and service dogs are just, they're amazing. One bit of advice I can give to your listeners is if you see a veteran with a service dog, do not, I repeat, do not immediately go up and pet that dog. Please ask for permission from the veteran.
Oh, talk to the human first and look them in the eye? Oh, my goodness.
What a concept.
Yes,
I know.
Yes.
So, yeah. Go up and speak to the veteran. Hi, I think your dog is beautiful. Is it safe for me to say hello and pet them?
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, they'll say yes. And what they'll do is they'll give that dog a specific command. Like in my friend's case of Patriot, he would say, make a friend. And I have my own, my own pet dog, Harry, who I really hope is not chewing on my shoes right now. And I will tell, it's iffy, very iffy. And I'll be out walking him, and if somebody wants to come up and pet him, I'll stop and I'll just go, Harry, make a friend, and Harry will walk up.
That's good training.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And hopefully I can get some more tips from Stephen or the Stevens, and learn how to better train my own dog.
So you would be able to match up veterans. Sullivan County veterans,
veterans in any county
with
of the state of New York.
With a service dog.
With a service dog, yes.
Oh, wow, that's huge.
Or if they bring a dog in, we can evaluate if that dog is young enough to be trained. I think after the age of 6 it was, that's not really feasible to train them. But anything below 5-6 years old,
they can be trained to some extent.
They can be trained.
Okay. All right. Well, I once taught a dog to count to number 5.
Just by tapping his paw?
No. I would say 5, and she would bark 5 times and then stop. The key isn't to get him to bark, it's to get him
that
to
reminds
stop.
me of that old Bugs Bunny cartoon. Who was the best baseball player? Ruff.
Yes.
Maybe I should have said DiMaggio.
That's right. That's right. But being able to provide service dogs for veterans is a wonderful service right there that Vet2Vet is able to do. But you said you have a couple of events you wanted to talk about?
Yes. On the 20th of May, we have a health and wellness festival at Resorts World in Monticello.
Mm-hmm.
Vet2Vet will be there along with Action Toward Independence, which is the nonprofit that I work for, along with a number of other agencies in the Hudson Valley area. The big one is coming up in August 5th, Vet Fest from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Where's that?
That's going to be held at the Grahamsville Fairgrounds.
Oh, the Little World's Fair grounds. Okay.
Yes, beautiful place. We were up there last week checking it out. We have booked at least one musical act, and I'm working rather diligently right now on booking another one. We have a gentleman by the name of Derek Stoner coming to play. He's a veteran. He's based in the Nashville area. He's coming up playing free of charge. All we had to do was cover his travel expenses. I'm trying to get, like I said, a couple of local bands involved as an opening act.
If anybody's listening and they'd like to talk to you about playing there, how would they get a hold of you?
They can contact us through our Facebook page.
Okay.
Or call me at Action Toward Independence at 845-754-4228.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
And that's the big one. We're going to have blacksmith demonstration, fly fishing demonstration, some of the other programs that we do with veterans. We're partnering with Healing Waters and the Catskill Fly Fishing Museum to set up a day where veterans can build their own flies and go fishing out in the Neversink River. I'm working
because having a hobby is better than just
sitting around the house
there
doing nothing.
Yeah.
And as we were saying earlier, one of my hobbies, which began in childhood, were these little itty bitty toy fire trucks called Tootsie Toys, and I would scrape the paint off them, repaint them, and now it's become my therapy. And I'm moving up, and this is going to sound blasphemous to any of you who collect them. I took a Hess truck from 1996 and repainted it yesterday, and I made sure that the lights and siren on it still worked.
But this is your therapy.
That's I expect to see a bunch of people in green and white shirts holding torches, marching up my road tonight.
Okay, should we have you sign off with a fake name then so they don't find you? No. We do want people to find you. You're performing so many good services for the veterans of Sullivan County. And we're just about done with time. What would you like to end with? Any parting thoughts, anything that we didn't get said that you want to say?
Our veterans give up a lot for the people of this country, not only, just like I said, not only the Hudson Valley, the greater tri-state area, but for everyone. And it's time, in one way or another, everybody gives back.
This is a good thing. Yes.
Very much so.
Do you need donations of money, or do you need volunteers for Vet2Vet?
Food donations are always welcome. I'm going to speak with my management at Action Toward Independence today about maybe setting up a clothing bin. Mm-hmm. As far as monetary donations, I'm not quite sure. I recently started working for the company. I've only been there about a month.
Okay.
I'm taking over for the great Ryan Fuller, who is going on to finish his education in clinical mental health, and he starts his clinicals this week. So it's actually taking two of us, myself and Stephen Murphy, to replace Ryan, and he will be sorely missed.
Okay. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having me, Kate.
Appreciate you. Feel free to bring a dog next time, whether it's a service dog or just your dog.
Okay.
Who could come in here and chew on something of ours.
All right.
In the studio.
I'm sure we could find something.
That would work. Thank you so much. Jimmy Raftery, Vet2Vet of Sullivan County. Find them on Facebook. That's Vet, the number 2, Vet of Sullivan County. Thank you for being here on Wall Radio.